The story begins on September 18th, 2019. In a meeting room, all the board members are seen voting to remove a man named Adam from the company. Every single one of them agrees that Adam should be fired. At that very moment, Adam is still asleep at home. As he wakes up, his wife Rebekah begins taking care of him as usual. After getting ready, Adam leaves for the office with Rebekah. Upon reaching, his secretary informs him that the board has called him for an urgent meeting. Surprised, Adam asks, "Do you have any idea why they've called me in so suddenly?" The secretary shows him a newspaper article and replies, "Because of this." The headline reads, "Adam created the WeWork company and then destroyed it himself." Reading this, Adam grows furious and begins shouting in anger. A little later, Adam and Rebekah reach the WeWork office, where the board meeting is already underway. As soon as Adam opens the door to enter the meeting room, the story flashes back 12 years earlier. At that time, Adam was just an ordinary man, struggling to make ends meet while saving every penny he could to work on new startup ideas. His first idea was to create knee pads for babies, designed to protect their knees while crawling or learning to walk. After that, he worked on another idea, collapsible heels, shoes whose heels could be removed whenever desired. When Adam was pitching this idea to his investors, the model wearing the shoes accidentally detached the heel during the presentation and ended up hurting her hand. The incident embarrassed Adam, and both of his business ideas failed miserably. No one showed interest in investing. Still determined, Adam appeared again in front of investors with another idea. He began his pitch by saying, "Think about it. In cities like New York, how much does it cost to rent a single room? If you're a college graduate or a working professional, your rent for a one-bedroom apartment in New York City can easily go up to $38,000 per year. Now imagine if we could provide people affordable living spaces within the same city and even the same buildings, places with all modern amenities. I'm talking about communal living, where people share their space, their expenses, and their experiences. Welcome to Concept Living. Join me at a $5 million valuation, and together, we can change the world." After finishing his pitch, Adam turned to one of the investors named Sylvester and asked, "What do you think about this idea?" Sylvester replied, "I really like your confidence, Adam, but I'm not interested in investing in this concept." And just like that, Sylvester too refused. However, among the audience sat a young man named Miguel, who had been listening closely. He found Adam's idea truly inspiring and believed in his vision. So after the presentation, Miguel met Adam outside and said, "I can't give you $5 million, but I can help you find a cheap office space to start." Adam agreed, and Miguel took him to see the available space. When Adam arrived at the building, he saw a large open floor and was immediately impressed, praising how perfect the place looked. But Miguel smiled and said, "Oh no, that's not our space." He then led Adam into a small, worn-down room, barely the size of a single office. Adam looked around and asked, "How much is the rent?" Miguel replied, $750. To gather the rent money, Adam decided to host a rooftop party, charging $20 per person. During the party, a woman named Rebekah showed up. Adam was instantly drawn to her words, her energy, her presence. When the event ended and Rebekah got into the elevator, Adam followed her inside and said, "I organized this party. Would you like to go on a date with me?" Rebekah politely declined and walked away. But Adam wasn't ready to give up. The very next day, he went to the place where Rebekah taught yoga classes. The day after that, he found her again while she was shopping. Persistent, he kept trying to convince her to go on a date, and after much insistence, Rebekah finally agreed. That evening, Rebekah arrived at the place where they were supposed to meet, but Adam showed up 45 minutes late. Furious, Rebekah scolded him harshly and said, "You're a failure, Adam. That's why all your business ideas fail too." Her words hurt him deeply. The next day, Adam went straight to Rebekah's yoga studio, where she was teaching. There, he confronted her boss and said angrily, "You call this a business? This is nonsense. You're selling yoga t-shirts and even holy water on your website and making so much money from it. Rebekah works so hard for you, and you only pay her one per student. From now on, I'll get Rebekah her own studio, where she can take all her students with her, and all the money she earns will go to her, not to you." Hearing this, Rebekah was touched by Adam's boldness and passion. She immediately kissed him, and soon after, the two became intimate. Later, one day, Rebekah said to Adam, "You have a special gift. You can sell anything to anyone. Don't lose your passion. Chase what you truly want." Her words lit a fire in Adam. He went back to that rented office space, and after some thought, went to Miguel and said, "Would you like to start a business together? We'll share the office space. I've got a concept in mind." Rebekah and Adam are sitting together when Adam says, "You know, the idea of living spaces was good, but I think workplace sharing will work even better." Miguel smiles and says, "Yeah, that's actually a great idea, but why did you choose me for this?" Adam replies confidently, "Because I need an architect, one that I don't have to pay." Hearing this, Miguel laughs and says, "All right, I'm in." Later, both of them meet the man who owned the entire floor they had planned to rent. Adam then pitches his idea called Green Desk to the man named Randall. The concept was based on shared workspace. Randall looks skeptical and says, You can barely afford the rent for one room, and now you want me to give you an entire floor? Adam smiles and says, you have a whole floor lying empty, don't you? It's not like you're making any money from it. Tomorrow, we'll come back and pitch our full idea. And if you say no, you'll be losing a $1 billion opportunity. Later, Adam tells Miguel to prepare a 17-page presentation overnight. Miguel stays up all night, working tirelessly to finish it. The next day, they present it to Randall. Randall looks impressed and says, you've made a really nice presentation, but it's not going to work for me. Still, after listening to Adam's passionate explanation, Randall finally agrees. Now Adam and Miguel have a large office space, and they turn it into a modern, open-concept workspace by dividing it into small office cabins. People who couldn't afford big offices now started renting these smaller cabins. Each tenant had access not just to their private workspace, but also to a large shared area for meetings, activities, and fun. Adam's idea turns into a success. Later, Adam and Miguel meet Randall again and tell him that they now want to expand and get a new space in Manhattan. Randall asks, why Manhattan? We have great buildings right here. You can easily set up here. Adam replies confidently, I'm not just talking about Manhattan. I want to go to Paris and even Dubai. So either you say yes, or you're out of the deal. Randall, feeling offended, refuses to invest any further. So Adam sells the entire office setup they created in Randall's building for $5,000. After that, Miguel tells Adam, convincing people in Manhattan for space will be really difficult. Adam smirks and says, and what if they agree? Before working with me, you used to earn $15 an hour. But now, we sold our setup to Randall for $500,000. And that too, within 20 minutes. We've proved our concept. No one will be able to say no to us now. But things don't go as Adam expected. Everyone in Manhattan rejects his idea. No one was willing to give him office space. After countless rejections, one last lady tells Adam, the housing market just crashed. You picked the worst possible time to come up with this idea. We're struggling to pay back our bank loan, and you don't even have money for rent. No one, including me, is going to lease you space right now. It was the 2008 housing crash, and nobody was ready to invest in Adam's concept. But then, a man named Evgeny Reskov agrees to meet him. He owned a building space. When Adam visits, Evgeny says, you only have 10 minutes. Quickly tell me your idea. Adam realizes that Evgeny isn't genuinely interested. So instead he says, actually, we don't need your space. Evgeny looks surprised. What? Why not? Adam calmly replies, look carefully at this floor, at these windows. The place is in terrible condition. We're looking for something better, somewhere we can build a community, a place that enhances people's lifestyle. Hearing this, Evgeny becomes curious and asks, all right then, tell me, what kind of changes would you make here? Adam smiles and begins describing his vision, a bright, open, creative workspace filled with energy and collaboration. As Adam talks, Evgeny starts to picture it vividly. Impressed, Evgeny says, I want to partner with you. But Adam shakes his head. We're not looking for a partner. We need an investor. Evgeny nods. All right, how much investment are you looking for? Adam answers, 45 million. Evgeny laughs slightly and says, I can't give you that much, but I can give you 15,018 cents in exchange for 1/3 of your company. Later, Adam, Miguel, and Rebekah sit together brainstorming what to name their company. After discussing several options, they finally decide on the name WeWork. Now the story jumps forward to 2019, back to the opening scene of the movie, when Adam was called for a board meeting. In the meeting, Adam tells the board members confidently, our company is doing great right now. We're in 100 cities, operating across 425 locations worldwide. We have over 400,000 members, and our valuation is $47 billion. So I don't think a newspaper article can really affect us. You're only worried because our IPO is launching in 2 weeks. But one board member interrupts saying, you're still thinking about the IPO. Actually, all of us, the entire board, have decided that you're being removed from the company. Hearing this, Adam loses his composure and quietly leaves the building with Rebekah by his side. Then, the film flashes back again to 2008, when Rebekah and Adam got married. During the wedding, Rebekah's father gifts the couple a $1 million check, making them both extremely happy. But just then, Adam's old business partner Bob comes up to him and says, I think you're walking straight into trouble. At the wedding, Bob looks at Adam and says, I think you're in trouble. Adam, smiling confidently, replies, trouble? My company's valuation has reached 45 million, and you're saying I'm in trouble? Bob raises an eyebrow and says, tell me something. Did you actually get the money that Evgeny promised you? Adam looks uncertain. Bob continues, I think you should talk to my cousin Ron. He's on the board of the New York Real Estate Association. He might help you. Later, Adam meets Ron and instantly recognizes him because they'd met before. Ron smirks and says, "Did Evgeny mention something about 18 cents?" Adam nods. Yes, he did. He said that in Hebrew, 18 is considered a lucky number. That's why he promised to invest 15 million and 18 cents into my company. Ron chuckles and says, 15 million? Forget that. If he gives you even those 18 cents, consider yourself lucky. Saying this, Ron walks away, leaving Adam speechless. In that moment, Adam realizes that Evgeny had completely scammed him. Meanwhile, everyone at the wedding is dancing and celebrating, but Adam stands still, lost in worry. Evgeny may have leased them the property, but he wasn't going to invest a single dollar. Later, Adam and Miguel are sitting inside that same empty building, wondering what to do next. The space was useless without proper interiors and furniture, and no tenant would ever rent it in that state. Adam turns to Miguel and says, "We'll have to arrange the money ourselves. Whatever we earned from Green Desk, we'll invest it all here." Miguel agrees without hesitation, deciding to put in all his savings from Green Desk as well. Adam somehow manages to cover the rent, but they still needed money to do the interior work. So he goes to Rebekah, asking for help. He tells her everything, how Evgeny tricked them and vanished. He then requests her to invest the 1 million gift that her father had given them at their wedding. After visiting the space and seeing Adam's determination, Rebekah finally agrees. She gives him the money, and the two start working to renovate and transform the building so that they can rent it out. But even before the first place was finished, Adam's ambitions had already grown bigger. He meets a man named Stowers, trying to rent another location from him, but Stowers refuses, saying, "I don't work with startups." Later that night, Stowers is at a bar when Adam shows up, determined to convince him. Adam knows that Stowers deeply respects his parents and values their opinions. So, he says, "Don't you want to give something back to your parents? They've sacrificed so much for you. Sometimes, in life, you got to make bold decisions, like signing this lease with me." Hearing this emotional pitch, Stowers hesitates for a moment, and then gives in. He pulls out the lease papers and signs them with Adam. Meanwhile, Rebekah continues trying her luck in the entertainment industry, hoping to get good acting roles. On the other hand, the renovation work in Adam's office space is progressing quickly. One day, Stowers shows up at the site, and Miguel, confused, asks, "Who's that?" Adam replies, "He's our new landlord. I've also finalized another location in the city center." Miguel is shocked. "Are you crazy? We can barely afford the expenses of this floor, and you've signed up for another one?" Adam tries to calm him down, saying, "Trust me, I'll fix everything." But Miguel, furious, yells at him and storms out. Later, Stowers meets Adam privately and says, "Actually, I need you to tear up the lease we signed." Adam nods calmly. "All right, I'll tear it up." Stowers smiles in relief and says, "You have no idea how angry my parents were when they found out about the lease. They said, 'Who did you rent it to? This isn't even a real company.'" Adam stares at him for a moment and says coldly, "Stowers, I thought you were the president of your company. That's what your business card says. But now I realize you're just a kid. Your deals don't matter. Your words don't matter. You should go sit back in your mommy and daddy's lap." Saying that, Adam walks away. He then goes to find Miguel, who's still upset. Adam looks at him and says, "I know I'm not God. I can't do this alone. I need you to run things with me. Come inside. I'll be waiting." Miguel, still hesitant but loyal, eventually comes back and joins him inside, helping him get the work done. Meanwhile, Rebekah finally realizes that acting isn't for her. She decides to quit acting and fully support Adam instead. Together with Miguel and their growing team, Adam completes the renovation of the new office. When everything is ready, Adam gathers his team and says proudly, "Now we're all set. People will come here to work, and they'll share their experience with others. Once they do, the WeWork experience will spread everywhere, and soon we'll be in cities all across the world." Rebekah visits the space for the first time, and she's overwhelmed with joy. The place that Adam and Miguel built with their own hands is now buzzing with people. Tenants are renting spaces, working productively, and enjoying the vibrant atmosphere. In their free time, they chat with friends, play table games, and socialize. Everyone loves it because, at a low cost, they're getting so many facilities. Then, the movie jumps ahead to 2012. By now, WeWork has become a massive company. Adam has turned into a hero figure. People admire him, listen to him, and see him not just as a CEO, but as a charismatic leader. The WeWork offices are now more like parties than workplaces, filled with energy, music, and free drinks. Meetings, hookah breaks, parties, everything happens under one roof. Adam's charm and speeches inspire everyone. Later, he organizes a huge summer retreat in New York for all WeWork employees. He arrives dramatically in a helicopter with Rebekah by his side. As the crowd cheers, Adam steps onto the stage and begins giving an enthusiastic speech. Then he invites Rebekah to join him, and she walks up smiling, ready to give a speech of her own. Rebekah begins her speech by saying that when Adam was alone, before he met her, it was his sister Eddie who always stood by him. And today, It's because of her help that Adam has built such a big family. Rebekah adds, as a woman, I know that it is our purpose to push men toward their destiny. She wanted to inspire people through her words, but instead, her statement offended many. A journalist standing in the crowd was already noting down every word she said, and soon, her speech became a controversial topic. Later, Adam's secretary Vanessa tells both Adam and Rebekah that they should publicly clarify what Rebekah meant on stage. Vanessa warns, people are calling your statement anti-feminist. It could harm our company's image. That night, Rebekah and Adam attend a party, and Rebekah is seen enjoying herself. After a while, she tells Adam that she needs to leave. Surprised, Adam asks, what happened? Why are you so worried? Rebekah replies, my dad is caught in a legal problem. His accountant made a mistake, and now he might have to go to jail. I can't stay here any longer. You should stay and enjoy the party. You've been planning it for months. The next morning, Rebekah wakes up to a storm of criticism online. Women everywhere were boycotting her. Social media was flooded with posts attacking her speech. Members of the WeWork PR team meet her and say, your words on stage have badly affected the company's image. As the founder's wife, you have to be careful with what you say. We've prepared a statement that you must read publicly to clear things up. But Rebekah refuses. She doesn't believe she said anything wrong and storms out of the meeting. Later, a listening session is organized where Rebekah sits down with a group of female employees to talk. She tells them, everything I said on stage was taken the wrong way. Now people are asking me to apologize, but I only spoke from my truth, from the life I've lived. I didn't mean anything negative. The women, however, begin to argue with her. One woman stands up and says, I can't lie out of fear of losing my job, but WeWork is the worst place for women to work. Another agrees, saying, she's right. We get called in at 3:00 a.m. just because we're part of the team. A third woman adds, we're treated like disposable startup labor, while our founder arrives in a helicopter. Then, one woman speaks up more boldly, saying that many are even pressured to sleep with people to keep their positions. Hearing all this, Rebekah is devastated. She can't handle the accusations and storms out of the session in tears. She had thought the controversy would fade with time, but instead, it backfired badly. Later, Adam takes Rebekah to their cottage, where she finds her father waiting. He tells her with a heavy heart that he may have to go to jail for 6 months to a year for fraud charges. That night, Rebekah lies awake, replaying everything that went wrong, her words, her choices, and how her life has spiraled into chaos. After the summer retreat ends, everyone gathers for the closing speeches. Adam hands Rebekah an envelope and says, this is what you need to say on stage. Rebekah puts it in her pocket and calmly replies, I know what I need to say. When she goes on stage, she begins with a soft voice but firm conviction. In my last speech, I said that women support men so they can rise. And that's true, but it's not the whole truth. The full truth is that men and women support each other. The crowd goes silent, listening intently. She continues, only when we lift each other up can we truly empower others. Just like Adam empowered Miguel, and Miguel empowered Adam. We are WeWork, a community built to support one another. Her words move the audience deeply. Everyone bursts into applause, cheering for her heartfelt speech. Adam, proud and emotional, walks up to her on stage, hugs her tightly, and kisses her in front of everyone. Then the story jumps to 2016. By now, WeWork has grown massive, but it's also bleeding money. The company is losing $1.2 million every day. At Benchmark Capital's office, where the investors had poured millions into WeWork, a man named Cameron tells Bruce, we've invested so much into this company, but they're burning through cash faster than anyone. If this continues, they'll waste everything we gave them. Meanwhile, in the WeWork headquarters, Adam is telling his team, this year, we're going to open 40 new locations. One senior executive, Hobby, objects and says, that's impossible. This has already been one of our worst years. Adam looks at him confidently and says, why impossible? Starbucks has been opening 2 stores a day since 1987. Kavi shakes his head and snaps, but we're not Starbucks, Adam. We're not selling coffee. Your business model is broken. We lease spaces, hang up some light bulbs and neon signs, and pretend we're changing the world. We work day and night for you, and you don't even pay us fairly. As Hobby angrily gets up to leave, Adam calls out, wait, Javi, from now on, I'm doubling your salary. Hobby freezes mid-step and silently sits back down. Adam smiles, proud of how easily he can control the situation, while his empire continues to grow and burn faster than ever. Adam orders food and drinks for everyone and says, this is how we'll grow our business. If a landlord refuses to rent us a space, offer them double the rent. Invite them for dinner, buy them drinks, do whatever it takes, but convince them. Following his orders, the WeWork team starts applying this aggressive strategy. Whenever a landlord hesitates, they double the offer, flatter them over dinner, and eventually seal the deal. But this reckless expansion comes at a huge cost. Soon, WeWork's losses rise to 1.8 million per day. One of Adam's team members warns him, "At this rate, we'll lose 400 million this year. We can't afford to keep spending like this. We need to cut staff." But Adam arrogantly replies, "Then we need more money. Money will solve this problem." Later that evening, Adam returns home and is startled to see Rebekah dressed in heavy blue makeup. Rebekah laughs and says, "Relax, it's just for the costume party. You're coming with me, right?" Adam shakes his head. "I can't. I have an important meeting with Bruce," he says. Rebekah attends the fundraiser party alone, dressed as a character from Avatar. No one recognizes her at first. There, she meets Alyssa, a confident and successful businesswoman. Meanwhile, Adam meets investor Bruce and tries to convince him to invest more money. But Bruce refuses, saying, "Show us some profit with what you already have. Then we can talk. We're benchmark capital. We have limits. We're not SoftBank with unlimited funds." Frustrated, Adam calls his team and says, "I want a meeting with Masayoshi Son, the CEO of SoftBank. Book my flight to Japan." His assistant replies, "Sir, he's not in Japan right now. He's in India for the Startup India program." Adam insists, "Then get me in there. Tell them the CEO of the world's fastest growing company wants to speak. Our valuation is 14 trillion. I want to give a speech." Back at home, Rebekah continues talking with Alyssa at the party. When Adam calls her and says he's suddenly flying to India, Alyssa smiles and says, "I wish my husband were as supportive as yours." Curious, Rebekah later looks up Alyssa online and learns that she's a highly successful entrepreneur who built her own juice company. Meanwhile, in India, the Startup India conference is underway. The world's biggest CEOs are giving speeches about innovation and the future. Adam arrives there and surprisingly brings his father along. When his turn comes, Adam takes the stage and begins his speech. "When I was a kid, my parents divorced. I changed schools so many times that I never made any real friends. My dad wasn't there, and loneliness became my only companion. But when I came to India, I saw something different. Children living together like a family in a hostel. I saw connection. That's what inspired me to build WeWork, to fight loneliness." The audience listens intently. Adam finishes his presentation by introducing his father. But outside the hall, his father bitterly says, "So you brought me here just to play a side role in your story." Adam quickly denies it, but the tension is clear. Just then, Masayoshi Son himself walks up to Adam. "I loved your presentation," he says. "How's your company's growth?" Adam replies confidently, "We're 3 times bigger than Amazon. But if you really want to see our growth, come visit our office in New York." Masayoshi smiles and says, "All right, next time I'll meet you there." Back in New York, Adam tells his team, "We need to hire engineers immediately. Masayoshi Son prefers investing in tech companies, so we'll build a tech division." Miguel, his co-founder, objects, "You're saying we should spend more to attract funding?" Adam snaps back, "Don't think small. To grow big, we must spend big." Not long after, Adam gets a call. Masayoshi Son is in New York and wants to visit their office. Adam rushes there and instructs his employees, "Look busy. Pretend you're excited to work here." Moments later, his secretary walks in and says, "Sir, change of plans. Mr. Son isn't coming today." Meanwhile, WeWork's losses reach 2.1 million per day. The team warns Adam again, "We can't keep this up. If we don't cut costs, we'll run out of money in months." They urge Miguel to convince Adam to downsize. At the same time, Rebekah is on a video call with Alyssa when Adam walks in, visibly stressed. Rebekah immediately realizes things are bad. The next day, investors Bruce and a lawyer visit Adam's office. The lawyer says, "To reduce losses, we must shut down at least 20 locations." Adam reluctantly agrees and starts laying off hundreds of employees. Within days, inboxes across the company fill with termination emails. The company's daily losses drop slightly, from 2.4 million to 2.2 million, but it's still catastrophic. One morning, as Adam relaxes in his bathtub, his secretary rushes in. "Sir, Masayoshi Son has arrived." Adam quickly dresses and goes downstairs to meet him. He gives Masayoshi a tour of the WeWork office. Son chuckles when he notices Adam walking barefoot, amused by his eccentric charm. Later, during a car ride, Masayoshi tells Adam, "I never invest in company, I invest in founders. I moved from Korea to Japan and even adopted a Japanese surname, but they still saw me as an outsider. When I moved to America, I was still an outsider. I faced discrimination and loneliness all my life. And you, Adam, you understand loneliness better than anyone. That's why I believe in you." Masayoshi then takes a tablet, writes a figure on it, and slides it to Adam. When Adam gets home that night, Rebekah is sitting alone, upset. She says, "You haven't spent time with us in days. Our family is our life, Adam. Nothing is more important. You don't see us. You don't talk to us. You don't even touch us anymore." Adam hugs her and apologizes, saying, "I was focused on getting investment from Masayoshi Son, and today he finally agreed." He shows her the tablet. Rebekah looks down. Her eyes fill with tears. Written on it is 4.5 billion, the amount Masayoshi Son will invest in WeWork. Overwhelmed, she throws her arms around Adam as they celebrate their biggest victory yet. So friends, that was the incredible story of WeCrashed. Part 1. A wild ride through ambition, greed, and the dream that went just a little too far. But this was only half the journey. The second and final part will reveal how it all comes crashing down. If you enjoyed this mind-blowing story, make sure to smash that like button. Let's hit our target 2,000 likes. And comment yes below if you can't wait for part 2. Your support keeps us going. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.